Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And I know I teased this box on Twitter, but it's time to actually open it up. This is the Oppo Find X3 Pro that Oppo sent over. It even comes with a little bit of an extra, so we'll check that out. Now, this Find X3 Pro is the latest flagship from them. Has a 120 hertz AMOLED display, a quad camera system, which includes a microscope lens. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to use, so we'll test that out in this video. It also includes the latest Snapdragon 888 from Qualcomm, so I'm expecting a lot from the Find X3 Pro, so let's get started. Here's the Oppo Find X3 Pro, taking the box open. A nice presentation, very colorful, with our actual box on the inside. It is a 5G phone, of course, with that Snapdragon 888. Let's take a look what we get in this compartment. This was our event invite, but also included is a couple different cases, a carbon fiber, and this one has a little bit more grip to it, so we will put these on the phone later on in the video. Opening the phone's box, looks like we have some booklets up towards the top. Underneath is the phone. We're gonna set that to the side for just a second. Take a look at what we get. Inside, SIM ejection tool, a getting started booklet, along with something that looks like a business card. Let's flip it over, and it says Oppo International Warranty Service, travel worry-free, and also a case. So it is great to see an extra included in the box with this case. Taking the Find X3 Pro out of the box, let's see what else we get down below. We've got our charging brick included. This is a 65 watt charger, USB Type A to USB Type C cable. And one more extra, some headphones. Don't really see this too often anymore. USB Type-C headphones, and here is just a closer look at them. Finally, onto what you came to see, the Oppo Find X3 Pro. Let's take the phone out. Here is a first look. I do like this camera module, how the back just kind of ramps up to the camera module so it doesn't feel separate. Pretty futuristic looking with the reflections. Now let's boot up the phone for the first time, and while it turns on, let's take a close look at the hardware. Down at the bottom, SIM card slot, microphone, USB-C slot, and one of the stereo speakers. Moving along that right side is where the power button is, which has a pretty cool looking green accent to it. And make note of the camera bump. It's actually very minimal, and again, just sort of fits with the back of the phone. Now up towards the top, I believe another microphone. Moving along the left side is where the volume rockers are. Worth noting that the sides are fairly curved because the back and the display curves down into the side. And a close look at the back, it is fairly reflective overall. And a closer look at those four lenses on the back. We've got a 50 megapixel wide angle lens, a 13 megapixel telephoto lens at 2x zoom, a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and then a 3 megapixel macro lens. Anyways, I'm gonna run through the startup process and only talk about anything noteworthy. The Find X3 Pro does have face unlock, but we are going to set up the in-display fingerprint scanner. It is giving a little bit of vibration feedback as I set my thumb up. It does seem to be a little bit lower on the device than some other devices, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I find that pretty much no matter where it is, you just get used to it after about a week or two, the exact spot that it's in. Now here is a welcome to Color OS, which is the skin on top of Android. And we're all set and ready to go. Here is the home screen. And a close-up of the 6.7-inch AMOLED display on this device. This is a 1440p display with 120 hertz, so 1440 by 3216 overall. And make note, the sides of the display do curve down. Out of the box, I can tell that 120 hertz is enabled. Let's jump into settings and go to these display settings because there's a lot you can customize with this screen on this phone. You got your option of light or dark mode, eye comfort. You can change the screen color temperature with a natural tone or the screen color mode. Now I want to go to more actually because the screen refresh rate, high, So it is at 120 hertz, or you can bump it down to 60 hertz if you'd like to save battery life. I would recommend keeping it on high. And FHD plus. So this is in 1080p out of the box. So out of the box, if you want to use that 1440p display, you actually have to enable it within settings, which I'd recommend doing, but again, keep in mind that will drain your battery life a little bit more. There is also a setting called screen display where you can customize a couple things. First of all, with that punch hole front-facing camera, you can actually have it on a per app basis where it auto adapts if you'd like. Or let's say we go to Chrome, you can have it show the front camera or hide that front camera. So now if we go into Chrome, you'll see it did bring down a status bar in this specific application. In regards to the display, another really cool setting they have is in additional settings, accessibility, and color vision enhancement. So you can adjust the colors based on your color vision to provide you with the most comfortable display effects. So turning it on, you can have grayscale, red, green, blue filter, and change the intensity, or personalize. So you can take a full color vision test and actually tune the display to your own vision. Now, I'll actually be doing another video on the Find X3 Pro, so stay tuned for that, and we'll dive full into the color vision test and a lot more. But for now, let's go ahead and check out a couple more things. First of all, as usual, let's test out that in-display fingerprint scanner. Go ahead and press it again. Very quick and accurate. Let's see if it works with the display off. It does, which is great to see. You'll notice that with the display off like this, I can just set my thumb down. It's very quick and accurate and does give you a quick vibration feedback. I'd also like to make a quick note that there was a screen protector pre-installed on this device. So nice that they included that. Now let's dive into the camera app and opening it on up. Let's just snap a couple of quick pictures. Shutter speed seems to be very quick. Now we have a few different options. We can tap this icon and it will go to that ultra wide angle lens at 50 megapixels. There's 2x, which is using that telephoto lens. And then if you tap this last one, it goes up to 5x, which will be digital zoom. Up at the top, HDR, AI, and swiping down, there's a few quick settings such as the frame. You can turn 50 megapixel on and off on the fly or set a timer. In terms of modes, you have a night mode, video, photo, portrait, and more. And going into more, check it out. We have a microscope option. So let's actually test that out. It looks very blurry, but it says place your camera against an object. So let's grab something. While using the microscope, it's worth noting on the back, there's a bit of a ring, a light ring around the lens to give you a little bit more light while taking the shot. Now you do have to get really close to the object. This is just a 3D printed logo that I have. Now to get really close, it's you have to be pretty stable with it, so I would recommend doing it on a flat surface. But you'll see, you can start to see the texture of that 3D printed object. So there you have it. This is the microscope feature. Now let's grab one more thing and do a quick test. This wooden desk is actually a pretty good option. So this is with the phone completely flat. You'll see it's very dark, so you kind of have to angle the phone up a little bit to let a little bit more light through, and check that out. Some really cool texture shots that you can get out of this lens. I'm really excited to test it out. More to come with a bunch of different objects. And finally, a quick run through settings. ColorOS has so many different unique settings that add a lot of value to the Android OS, including theming. So you can change the different theme. There's always on display. You can customize font, edge lighting, fingerprint style even, which is kind of nice. So you can have a different animation every time that you unlock the phone. So that one was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and enable that one and test that out very quickly. So locking the phone, it's so fast that you can barely even see the animation. That's pretty funny. Aside from that, a lot of customizations to your home screen. Double tap to lock, raise to wake, double tap to turn the screen on and off, and an always on display. There's also a setting called Convenience Tools to change a group of different things, including navigation. You don't just have to have the buttons down at the bottom. You can use gesture navigation where you swipe over to go back, swipe up to go home, up and pause to get to your recent apps. There's gestures and motion, so swipe down with 3 fingers to take a screenshot. That worked really well. Raise to wake, there's screen off gestures. So let's turn those on, where you can draw a V to turn on the flashlight, draw an O to open the camera, again with your screen off, or even control your music. You can turn on the smart sidebar, so swiping over gives you a group of options. Of course, you can fully customize all of these different things, and then a quick launch option from your lock screen to go quickly into specific apps. So like I said, there's so many different settings and customizations you can do within ColorOS. And in terms of specs, you have a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, 256 gigs of storage, and an option between 8 and 12 gigabytes of RAM. And can't forget to snap the phone in the cases. So here it is with the carbon fiber. It leaves a slot open for the buttons on the side. The top is open and bottom, but the corners are actually covered. So a fairly minimal case overall. Now with this case, the top is fully covered and the buttons are fully covered as well. Now the bottom has a bit of an opening to it, but the corners are fully covered. So overall, I really like the feel of this one. It's kind of a softer touch, but still does have grip to it. Looks pretty sleek as well. And overall, that is everything I want to talk about for now with the Find X3 Pro from Oppo. More videos coming soon. Make sure you click that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.